This is Spencer Fearon for On the Inside for the Stamina Cell YouTube channel. I'm gladly and proudly up with Billy Nelson, world champion trainer, and now has the current heavyweight contender in Martin Bakoli. How you doing, Bill?
I'm fine, thanks, Spencer. Good to be on your show.
Listen, man, it's a pleasure to have you. There's been a lot of talk right now about Martin Bakoli, how you've structured this young man, how he's changed his style of fighting, and how he's like a top contender. There's a lot of talk about he's sparring with a lot of top guys. And there was talk about him and Usyk, where I saw you recently say that he really did hurt Usyk with a body shot. He sparred with quite a few of these guys. Do you think like we should just leave like sparring talk for sparring talk and leaving fighting talk for fighting talk?
Most definitely, aye. But he was asked the question, and Martin, because Martin's English and his English it's good, it's okay. He understands most of it, but he doesn't understand that, you know, sparring stories stay behind closed doors. See, when he was on that Sky and he said, "Oh, I stopped this week and I fucking done this and that to Daniel Dubois," I was like, "Oh," but hey, it's one of those things. It's done now. You can't take it back, can you? So
no, you can't. So you were present at the Usyk spar, right?
No, I wasn't present at the Usyk spar, but he phoned me. He phoned me that day and told me, and I've had the Usyk's team. Usyk's team have phoned me saying that the sparring was the best sparring they've ever had, and that Martin Bakoli will be a world champion.
Okay,
they're very, very, very impressed with him.
Okay, so what kind of like what direction? What direction would you be pointing Martin in now? Because I see there's a recent call out with him and Dylan Whyte. What happened there?
To be honest with you, I don't know why. Well, we heard Dylan had made some remarks regarding him, and I think Martin took great exception to it, as you would, and said that he was wanting to fight him. And Martin doesn't understand that. Dylan's earned the right to be where he is now. You know, he's got a good commercial value, whereas Martin is working towards that. You know, and probably Martin Bakoli will beat Dylan Whyte if they ever fought in a boxing ring. Of that, I've no doubt whatsoever. Dylan is a fantastic fighter, but Martin's a special fighter, and he is going to be a special fighter. Believe me. You've not seen a fraction of what I mean, he was good against the. I remember that boy was an Olympian. He's beat the Olympic gold medalist in Paris. None of your top British boys ever went to the away corner, the away people's hometown, and had such a convincing win as that, have they? Let's be honest. Apart from Tyson against Wilder.
Yeah, that was very, very. That was an impressive win for Martin Bakoli. Because
he never get any credit for it. He never get any credit for it, Spencer. You know, and that's kind of pisses you off. If Martin Bakoli was for London or you know, England, he'd be a star. He'd be a star, absolute star.
Yeah, but unfortunately, he's not. He's not from England. He's from right. He's from Congo originally, right?
But if you're talented, why should it be unfortunate? You should be once he's given a chance. Ultimately, once he gets given a chance, he'll grasp that chance.
Yeah, but is he fighting as a Brit right now, or is he still fighting as somebody from Congolese?
No, he's got a British license.
He's got a British license. Okay.
Yes, he's here in a Tier 2 sportsman's visa.
Right. So he's calling himself the last King of Scotland, right? Is that what he's calling? Right. So next King of Scotland. Sorry, my apologies. Last King of Scotland. I'm thinking about Idi Amin, the movie, right? Yeah. We don't talk much about him, but anyway. But I'm saying like with him now, who are the fighters that you want Martin to go in with? This is what I want to know from you, Billy.
Well, would fight anybody, really, to be quite honest with you. But I think ultimately it's everybody's dream to win the world heavyweight title.
Right.
So really, we have to go in a final eliminator route, and we're calling. We've lobbied the WBA for that to call a final eliminator
Okay.
because we're number two. Deontay Wilder, he's not going to fight, but he's going to go to Saudi Arabia. That's if he doesn't get beaten into him. Same as AJ, he'll go to Saudi Arabia unless he gets beaten into him. So Wilder's number one, we're number two, and AJ's number three. So why should we lose out on? Why should we not get the opportunity of at least a fight in a final eliminator status for either Usyk or Daniel Dubois, or just fight? Listen, I don't think Daniel Dubois versus Usyk will happen.
Okay.
I think if it does, good luck to Daniel, because I think he'll need it against Usyk. But if it doesn't, why does he not fight Martin Bakoli for the regular title?
Big. Who? Why doesn't Daniel Dubois fight?
Daniel.
Right. So is that a fight that you want? You want to fight with Daniel Dubois?
100%. No problem whatsoever. Whatsoever.
Okay. And how do you think he'll do against Daniel Dubois?
He'll stop Daniel and stop him early.
Like how early?
4 or 5 rounds tops.
So you believe that Martin Bakoli would stop Daniel Dubois in 4 or 5 rounds? Okay. So I'm going to call out some names, and I also want to know from you, Billy, like, how do you think he'll do with these guys and the outcome? We've seen the spat between him and Dillian Whyte. How would Martin Bakoli, the next King of Scotland, do against Dillian Whyte?
Stop Stilling, I think.
Yeah?
If he doesn't stop him, he'll outclass him.
Okay. Right, Dillian Whyte. We've gone with Dillian Whyte. A next guy.
Dillian Whyte's a very good fighter, by the way. Good fighter.
I know how good Dillian is. Okay.
I know that, man. No, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying this to belittle any other fighter. I'm just telling you how I think I'd see the fight.
Okay. All right, then. What about Joe Joyce, who recently come second best against Zhang?
Well, I told everybody to care to listen. Against a big guy that can punch, that's got movement, Joe will struggle. Martin's proved it when he sparred him. And
so what happened in that?
Joe's a big, strong unit. Martin had stopped Joe Joyce just the way Zhang did because he keep pinging him all the time.
Okay. Well, how would Martin do against Zhang?
I think he'd do very well against Zhang. Zhang's slow. The tactics of Joe Joyce were abysmal. If that was the tactics, I didn't really see anything because he kept moving into your left hand. I mean, if the boxer should have picked up in it, let alone his corner, I just couldn't understand his tactics. Zhang's a guy though. He beat Hagrovic, never got a decision, and then he beat Joe Joyce. Yeah. So he's a dangerous man in the division.
Okay. Move on from Zhang. We've got Deontay Wilder. How would you think he'd do against Deontay Wilder?
Again, see Deontay Wilder, let's be perfectly honest, he's got the weapon of mass destruction at right hand. Take that off him. He's not got much more, has he?
Okay.
Totally outboxed against Tyson Fury. So when you wouldn't get in that fight thinking we're going to knock Deontay Wilder out, I certainly wouldn't think that, But Martin Bakoli thinks he'd stop Deontay Wilder.
Okay. All right. So you've gone Deontay Wilder. Got to move it on. Anthony Joshua. How do you think he'd do against Anthony Joshua?
Well, I think it'd be an excellent fight because the two of them had some excellent, very even spars when I was down in England, down in Sheffield. I've got respect for Anthony Joshua. I feel sorry for what he went through with the Usyk fights. I think they've affected him mentally quite badly. Mm-hmm. When we sparred Anthony Joshua, I was under no illusion. I thought, without a shadow of doubt, Anthony was the best heavyweight in the world at that time.
Right.
But maybe not. It's not the case now. and I think he's maybe come down a wee peg or two, and Martin's went up. I think Martin would beat him now.
Okay. All right. We know your feelings on the Usyk fight because you've done sparring with Usyk. So what do you think about Martin Bakoli versus the big man Tyson Fury?
Well, we've sparred Tyson, and I think Tyson's the best out of a lot of them.
Right. How do you think your
I
fight
don't
will do
think
against him?
it'll be a very cagey affair. So with
Okay.
the two of them have got utmost respect for each other. Very, very hard fight for both.
Right.
He's the only guy in the top five or six that I think would have the possibility of beating Martin.
Okay. So we've gone through the list. So what does the future hold for Martin Bakoli now? This is the last and my final question to you for The Fight Is Right and On the Inside. What does the future hold for Martin Bakoli?
I think he'll be a world champion within 12 months. Given the opportunity, he'll be a world title. I've no doubt about it. No doubt in my mind whatsoever about it. He's different class for some of these heavyweights. He's proved it time and time again. That's how they won't even spar him now. That's how we're going to have to bring in Americans and Eastern European sparring partners. These guys won't spar him anymore.
Billy Nelson, it's been an honor for me to get your thoughts. We're going to see how this one goes out, and I want to keep you updated on the comments as well. But Billy Nelson, thank you for joining The Fight Is Right.
You're more than welcome. And can I say that I think that your podcast and your programs are fantastic because they're very, very level-headed points of views that you put across, and I think you're excellent at your job.
Thank you very much, Billy. That means a lot, man. That means a lot to Tundi as well. You take care. God bless, brother.
Take care. All the best. Bye.